Wrong Turn Remake, released in 2021, also known as Wrong Turn Foundation in some parts. The Foundation. And there's a reason why, because part of the movie is a group of, well, they're not mountain men this time around. This is a reboot. It's about a community that has existed for hundreds of years in the wilderness who decided to try and get away from the modern day world, and they didn't like the way America was going. So this is set in America, up in the mountains, in the Appalachian Mountains, and this community just decides to live more of a tribal and primitive way, which is fine. They stay out of the town's way, the townsfolk stay out of their way, and all is good, unless you go into their territory. If you go up into the mountains, then you don't come back, dead or alive. You're never seen again. And of course, there's a group of young kids who want to go hiking. And of course, they have to end up going to these mountains where they're not supposed to go. They have warnings along the way. The townsfolk warn them. The town is quite weird. There's some weirdos in town as well. You kind of don't know whether they're part of the community or not. Some are, some aren't. And you can never really tell for certain whether the townsfolk is trying to lure you into a trap or actually legitimately trying to help you. So these young kids go up in the mountains, and of course, they're treated to a bunch of booby traps that are set in the forest, and we get some pretty decent kills in the process, especially the first one. The first trap is actually pretty cool, the way it actually leads up to what they've uncovered up in the mountains that they shouldn't have. So character development here goes out the window, but as we all know, this type of movie, it's a bunch of teenagers, a lot of them are just bait, and they're being used for some gory kills. That's just gonna happen. So people that complain about character development here, what are you complaining about? It's a horror movie that's about kids getting killed and focusing on creative ways to end their lives. That's just what it's about. Wrong Turn, the original, was very similar. Now, this is what I'll actually get to next without getting into too many spoilers about the actual movie. It's a reboot, and it kind of shouldn't be. I feel like this should be a movie on its own. The original Wrong Turn, this is not better than the original Wrong Turn. It is different though. Instead of focusing on mutated mountain men and the incest that happens and the mutated family that we get to meet in some of the sequels along the way, I think there's like 6 movies now. The first one was really, really good, and they kind of get more ridiculous along the way, but it follows the same path, same characters, same storyline, and they're all connected in some way. This one's completely new. It's a community. They're human beings. They just decide to live in a primitive tribal way, which is fine, and they don't take too kindly to outsiders. If you stumble upon their territory, they will kill you if the traps don't first. And of course, we are treated to many, many gory deaths here. Now, main character Jen, her father actually is aware that she's missing, and he begins a search for her. He comes close to finding her. He's in the right town. The question is, will he find her? And if he does, will they both be able to escape with their lives? That is the question. I won't get into spoilers right now. If you want me to get into spoilers and talk about the spoilers, I'll be happy to. The ending of this movie was really kind of twisting and turning. They were trying to get really, really clever with the ending of this movie. I'm not going to reveal what it is, so don't worry. Don't click away. I will give you my score on this movie in a second. I did like the ending to this. You think it's going one way, then it's going another way, then it turns into a dream, then it's going one way, and then you think it's going to go another way, and in the end, you're happy with what happens. So, on the Panic Evil scale out of 13, Wrong Turn, the reboot in 2021, gets a very well deserved 9 out of 13. I did enjoy this movie. I did go in there with my hopes set quite low. My expectations were very low. I was never bored. I enjoyed it from start to finish. It's definitely something I will watch again. I did see some really bad reviews, but they're probably from hardcore fans that really are into the Wrong Turn series. This doesn't do the Wrong Turn series any justice. It should have been named something else. It shouldn't have the Wrong Turn name attached to it. This is a movie on its own that follows a similar kind of theme and storyline, but it's completely different in many ways as well. It's a community in the forest. It goes in a separate direction entirely. I don't know why they decided to reboot Wrong Turn and make it different like this. A lot of people that are into Wrong Turn will dislike that for sure, I guarantee you, and that's why they're giving this movie such low reviews. It's got a low user score ratings, but On a movie on its own, if they named it something else, which is a shame they didn't, they could have just named it The Foundation in the Forest, or something like that. I don't know why they decided to reboot Wrong Turn and make it different. I mean, there's a lot of movies that take place in the forest, like The Descent, The Ritual. You can go on and on. A lot of horror stories take place in the forest. It's a very common setting. They didn't need to reboot Wrong Turn. I think we just had like part 6 come out in recent years. I'm not sure if it came out last year. I'm not sure on the release date, but it did come out pretty recently. So why would you reboot it if they're still making movies based on the original or attached to the original? It just makes no sense. I wish they just called it something else. It didn't need to be attached to Wrong Turn. I'm sure that a lot of the Wrong Turn fans would have rated this movie a lot higher had it not been attached to the original Wrong Turn. Thank you for watching this review, and stay tuned to the channel for more horror reviews, all your video gameplay needs, and some music video reactions as well.